What is up, good people? You are watching Brudsy Entertainment. I am here with the lovely Sammy from TikTok. Sammy, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Fantastic. Just a quick, short introduction to myself, guys. I introduce and I interview content creators, big, small. I love listening to life stories. I saw some of your pictures and stuff online. And I saw there was a bit of a story behind it, and I thought I would love to have you on. So let's just start from the beginning then. So I saw you're very deep into fashion at the minute, and I noticed there's like some sort of over 50 sort of thing that you've got going on. Tell us a little bit about that, Sammy.
Yeah, I've always been into fashion from a young age and whatever. But then I've seen what I don't see with fashion is that you don't see many of my age doing that.
Hmm.
And I just wanted to come across that just no matter how old you are, if you're 50, 60, you still can look good.
Hmm.
And I don't spend a lot on clothes or anything like that. I mix and match. And I just want to put across that as over 50, we still have got, the fashion. We still can look good no matter how old you are. And
Hmm.
that's why I just so love putting things on TikTok to show
Hmm.
how I look and how some other women can take that and go and look the same way. Or if,
Hmm.
it's just a love I've got and a hobby that I love doing.
Okay. And just for anyone that doesn't know, obviously make sure you guys head over to Sammy's TikTok and double check. It is kind of like bikini kind of modeling that I've noticed a lot that you're doing. Like, you're it's not like full on nudie or anything, but it's like TikTok
No.
classy images and stuff like that. Some people, some people in their 50s would be like, they're scared that they'd be very scared to do that, but obviously you've got this confidence, and I think that will inspire a lot of other people to sort of do it. So that's obviously a really good thing. Let's start with you then, Sammy. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what sort of, I know you're in your 50s, you're in your 50s, you said, but what sort of person were you growing up? Sort of, what was your childhood like?
Well, I was quite a tomboy. I was a naughty child, to be
Okay.
honest.
Okay.
So I just loved football. I used to play hockey. I
Wow.
was really a big tomboy.
Hmm.
I never had no late girlfriends. It was just boys I used to hang around with and stuff. And I had a
Hmm.
nice family. I
Hmm.
had a mum, I had two sisters and a brother. My mum passed away when I was 16 of breast cancer. My sister
Wow.
passed away the same thing
Wow.
with breast cancer. So, it was really traumatic. I was pregnant at 16. I had five children, lovely children. I've got two
Hmm.
boys, three girls, and I've got 14 grandchildren now. And I love
14,
everyone,
14 grandchildren.
14 grandchildren,
Wow.
and I love them all to bits. I have a few, the older ones are on TikTok as well, and they
Okay.
do their little bit, which Nana will always follow them.
Okay.
Um, and I was a very alone person. I always used to be on my own. I didn't really react to my family. I was just really a person that stood on her own. And
Okay.
then I just went into a relationship with the kid's dad that was very abusive. I lasted probably 15 years. So I do relate to people that go through abusive relationship, that
Hmm.
it's hard to get out. It is hard. It's no good people saying that it's easy to get out. It isn't.
Hmm.
And then I met a nice chap that came into my life, Mick. 22 years I was with him.
Wow.
And he passed away. I found him dead when I came home from work. I
Wow.
had to get the police to smash the door in because he'd left the key in, and my world just dropped. I just went into a very, very dark place with mental illness and stuff. And that's why I can relate as well to people on TikTok with mental illness and depression.
Hmm.
I totally get that because
Hmm.
I went through that a really lot. Then my doctor said to me, Sammy, come on, you need to focus on something to get you out of this dark place.
Hmm.
And no matter what anybody said to you, my kids or anybody, that didn't help. It just
Hmm.
didn't help because I wanted to go where Mick was, and that wasn't good enough. It was, and he said to me, you need to focus on something. Well, I thought, well, I like gym. So I started to go to the gym. Then I thought, yeah, I like fashion.
Hmm.
So a year ago, I started to put a few things on TikTok, just a few dresses and whatever like that, what I'd got, and got myself back into a good fit state,
Hmm.
mentally and physically.
Hmm.
So I started to do fashion, and then it just took off, and then I just carried on doing it. And that's the thing that focuses me on being the way I am. And people that have got mental illnesses, to focus on something you love, you will get out that dark place. And
Mhm.
I did. And
Mhm.
now all I look now is for the future and look forward.
Mhm.
That's
That's interesting. What would you say to like some people? Because obviously it takes a lot to pull yourself out of a dark place. Everyone knows that
yeah,
I think everyone goes through a period in their life where something goes wrong and it just sends them down. And it doesn't have to be a big thing for some people. Some people that have had everything given to them their whole life, it just takes something small. And it could look silly to us, like what you doing, acting like that over
yeah.
it. It's their thing that's brought them in, put them in that place. But I mean, how would you say, where did you find the belief, the spirit? 'Cause obviously you had some really big highs and lows. Like, where did you feel where you got the strength to sort of say, I'm gonna
Looking at my children and looking at my grandchildren, thinking, well, they need me here, and they need
Mhm,
my support and my loving and stuff. And I spoke to Mick. I mean, people might think it silly, but I've got a photo. I had a photo of Mick, and I spoke to him and I said, Mick, you need to give me the strength to
mhm,
get to where I need to be and
mhm,
get out this dark place that
mhm,
I've got. I mean, it's the worstest pain or dark place anybody could be in, and I totally understand that.
mhm,
But it was just that I just woke up that day listening to what that doctor had told me and thinking, right, that's it. Enough's enough.
mhm,
You've got to get up. You've got to pull yourself together. Only you can do this, and you've got to find that strength to do it.
mhm,
And I got that strength, and I know everybody that gets depressed or whatever like that, they will find that strength. They
mhm.
just got to believe in themselves.
Hmm. I think it's very hard. I mean, male suicide at the minute is
Yeah,
absolutely going crazy. There's so much pressures.
I know.
There's so much pressures on the everyday man now. It's like just like a normal man back in like say 30 years ago, that was just going to work, doing a standard job,
Yeah,
earning maybe I don't know 20 to 30 grand a year. A standard job sort of. That would have been good enough for most women, but I think now where social media has come in place, and obviously what women are like, oh, my husband bought me this big ring, and
yeah,
oh, we're going on holiday here and there. It puts a lot of
mm,
pressure on it puts a lot of pressure on men now, and they're not feeling. It's like the tables are turning slightly. Women are sort of working, which is a good thing as well. Women are working a little bit more, but it does tend to see it's starting to become a little bit like the women are sort of putting, when they start progressing and start doing well, if they're earning more than their partner, it's sort of a lot of men are saying this to me. My wife earns more than me, my girlfriend earns more than me, and she's making me feel a little bit, a little bit bad about it. Like, oh, you need to do more and blah blah blah. So I think that financial pressure is huge at the minute on men, and it can just like, I don't think women understand it, because men, no matter what it is, we feel that we should be looking after our partners, our family, looking after, providing, and sometimes we might all go for a bad patch where we might even lose our job, so
yeah,
it's and then obviously you need a strong woman to sort of like help you in that stage. And sometimes some men feel that they just don't have that, or they feel they can't speak to their partner about it, so it's a very troubling time at the minute, with the cost of living and everything going up at the minute. So yeah.
I understand that 100%. And I understand where men come from as well. I
Mhm,
know that the tables are turning, that there's women in that. But if you've got a loving relationship and you work together,
mhm,
that should never ever come between who earns more and what. Mick used
mhm.
to earn a lot more than me. I
No.
never ever thought,
Mhm,
he's got to provide more than, we've both done it together. We worked as a couple. And if
mhm,
you've got that love and affection for each other, you both work together at it. It doesn't matter who earns what.
mhm, mhm. Would you say you're quite a spiritual person or a religious person in terms of like, helping you get through things?
I look to, yeah, I do. We all pray. I'm
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
some of us do. And that, yeah, I do. But
Mhm,
sometimes when I think to myself, what you've took away from me, you've took my mum, you took my sister, you've took my partner.
mhm,
Then you look to you, say to Jesus, what have I done to
mhm,
deserve all that? I'm not a bad person. I'm a lovely person. I've got heart of gold.
mhm,
Why is it that you took them away from me? And that, sometimes I do feel bitter in that way. But you know I do believe in God, and I believe in Jesus, and Christmas time and Easter and that we all celebrate and stuff like that.
mhm,
And I go, me and my daughter got married. I went church with them so many times, and it was lovely to go into a church,
Mm-hmm.
to pray and do my blessing and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say in a certain way, I am spiritist, but then in some ways I feel betrayed by why he's took all them, the persons I love away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
If you
totally
can,
get that. Yeah, I understand that. I just what I've noticed as well is a lot of people that end up like to a point where they just can't turn back and they're in that dark place. They don't tend to have any sort of like spiritual connection or belief system or
mm,
anything. And if you think about it, like if you've not got no belief system, there's no, and you feel like you're in a lone place. There's no one you can go to. Like you're in that dark place, and it's just there's nothing.
yeah.
There's no way back from that. But whereas if you've got a little bit of belief and a bit of spirituality about you, you can think to yourself, like a little bit of chanting in your mind, or like you said, you spoke to your partner and stuff like that, that would tell me that, you're a little bit spiritual, a little bit something, you believe in something, otherwise, you wouldn't,
Oh God, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's quite interesting. So, I mean, you said that you've got 14 grandchildren and 5
I have,
kids, yeah?
yes.
Okay, I got that right. That's good. So what are they like now then with you on social media? Well, hold on a minute. Nan's on TikTok with a flashing her
Um,
cleavage and in a bikini. What's going on?
my youngest one, Harper. Oh, there's Nana. She's only 3. Sorry, she's 4, and
Mhm,
she goes on YouTube. She goes on a iPad, and she's always putting mine on.
mhm.
Some of the
That's all right. We're not live.
left.
Yeah, I can
Sorry,
see.
ran. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's my kids all right, but my youngest son doesn't like it. My other kids are okay, but my youngest one's a bit of a mammy's boy, and he doesn't like it, so he doesn't even look at TikTok.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I think boys tend to, mums on there
Oh,
half naked sort of thing. So
yeah, yeah.
it
He
can
doesn't.
it can be a
He
little bit,
doesn't
yeah.
like it very much.
So have you had like much like feedback from other women saying you've really like inspired me, and sort of like have you had much? What's been the feedback and the reaction from like your TikTok and stuff?
So I've some of the women can be a bit. I don't know how to put this. Can be a bit nasty in a way, and I don't tolerate that. I just block them.
Hmm.
I've had about 6 I've had to block in a year, if you
Wow.
know what I mean. But it's mostly the guys I get a lot of attention from, but I don't do it for that. I don't do it for the attention of comments and stuff. I
Mhm.
do it because that's how I want to come across and how my hobby is. I'm not
Mhm.
looking for a partner on there. I'm not doing it to take anybody's limelight from them. There's all stunning women on there. There's stunning men on there as well. You know, so no, I don't get many from women.
Mhm.
To be honest with you, it's mostly all the men.
Okay.
But
I can't.
it's I don't know why, but there you go.
Yeah,
It's
that can't be too bad, Like it can't, like men telling you look great and beautiful. That must give you a little bit of confidence. As much, obviously, you're not doing it for their attention, their approval, but it must give you a little bit. Like if you've got like 100 men telling you look great every day, that or a week, whatever it is, that can't help. That can't but boost a little bit of confidence and stuff. Like, oh wait a minute, maybe I still got it.
well, I'm on 90. I think I'm on 95,000 now in a
Wow,
year
that's,
likes.
that's
So
crazy.
I'm
That's
just,
crazy.
I'm really shocked with that, if you know what I mean. And it is nice. You do get a boost. Any woman would get a boost,
Hmm.
not just me. Any woman that will get a boost. If a bloke's saying that to you, and I thank all the people that comment, and I always do if I can. But there's so many I get messages of. I
Hmm.
can't, I
Yeah,
can't reply to them all.
yeah.
But I do thank every one of them that fill out my posts because I do appreciate that 100% hand on heart.
Okay. And you mentioned the mental health side of stuff that you wanted to help people with as well. Like, if you want to talk a little bit about what you wanted to sort of,
Yeah,
I don't know what you see, like maybe from helping other people. Like, what would you want them to do? Like, contact you, or
yeah. Anybody that
which is a danger. This is a very. I'll say this quickly. Sorry, this is a very
one,
dangerous thing because, as a lot of women that I know have been through stuff, go on TikTok and they open the doors for some people,
yeah,
and it can get taken for granted. Like one woman that I spoke to, she was doing her best. She wanted to help this guy, talking to him, and then she arranged to meet up with him because she thought that he wanted to, have a just general chit chat, and she thought they were friends. That she helped
Yeah.
him out through a dark place. Then he was trying it on with her, and blah blah blah. And then she felt really betrayed by that. And
Yeah.
obviously, some people you can't help. They're just stuck in their rut, and they just want to feel good for a couple of hours and talk to you and take up your time. So you have to be very careful with the energy you
Yeah.
put out there. So I'll say that as well, but I'll leave it to you in terms of what you wanted to say from there.
Yeah, it's just we all, like I said, in the mental, like I say, with my partner I lost, he brought me into the mental because I was in a good place. Me and Mick had the work, everything,
Mhm.
and then when he passed away, it sent me in a really, really dark place where I wanted to even kill myself at one stage. I didn't want to live anymore. I wanted to throw myself, you get voices in your head saying, throw yourself down the stairs, or,
Wow.
some really bad things go through your head. And I've had everyone. I went on depression tablets. I lost my team leader at work as well because I just wasn't in a fit state.
Mhm.
But like I said, I do relate to this mental illness and stuff with all women, with all men.
Mhm.
And there is help out there. It's not just from me. There's help that you can get.
Mhm.
And if you've got friends, obviously help, your friends will help you out. Family. I know sometimes people have got no friends, got no family. And then they're the ones I really touch my heart to because they haven't got anybody and they don't know who to turn to.
Mhm.
But I was in the same place. I had family, but I didn't want the family. I
Yeah.
didn't want them to help me. I didn't want them to be a burden. I didn't want me to be a burden to them. Sitting here crying every day, and I didn't eat. I stuck in my bedroom, sit there, and didn't even talk to people at work. I just went away and didn't speak to anybody on break. I used to sit around the corner. It is a dark place, and I understand that. And that, like I say, there is help out there. There's
Mhm.
Samaritans. There's all organisations. I went onto an organisation. I just can't remember what it's called now. And there was a load of people on there, alcoholics, everything. And we all related to each other. We had a chat all online together, and it was that can help you as well.
Mhm.
But it's only you that can get yourself out of that dark place. No matter what anybody can tell you or what anybody can do for you, you need to focus on something you enjoy, or go for walks,
Yeah.
interact. I've
Yeah.
been there. I know
Yeah.
how it is. But you've
Yeah.
got to. You are the only one that can do that.
Mhm.
Nobody else can do that for you. You've got to get yourself out of that dark place.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's just you just don't know what to say to some people sometimes,
Mm.
it's hard. It's like, because if someone, like you said, it's very important. They've got to want to sort of help themselves, sort of take the life jacket almost, it's very hard to sort of like force them to do it. And
Yeah,
sometimes sometimes people just do it when they're ready, and sometimes they just don't. And some, because it can become a habit, just loping around, just lazing around,
I
doing
think
whatever.
I think the thing that done me as well, I even made my youngest daughter cry because
Hmm.
I didn't want to live anymore, and to see her break her heart like she did,
Hmm.
that woke me up as well. Because I'm thinking to myself, why? And my son, my oldest son,
Hmm.
he sat there and he was so shocked that he knew that I wanted to kill myself and throw myself downstairs and stuff like that because I didn't tell him.
Hmm.
And, they were so shocked what I was going through.
Hmm.
And I was shocked to see my youngest daughter crying. I never, ever, ever want to put her through that again, ever.
Hmm. Yeah, that's brilliant. So next 5 years, then let's look to like a brighter future. Like, where would you want to like be in the next 5 years? Obviously, you've done amazing, like 90,000 likes or on TikTok and stuff. That's quite amazing. Like, where do you want this to go? I mean, have you taken up any modeling jobs or anything yourself yet?
No, I can't. Like I say, at the minute, I can't because of my job I'm in. I work I've got a full-time job. I work in a meat factory with a load of guys, so I get a load of
Okay.
banter with them, so I'm so used to it.
Yeah.
But I want to travel. I
Hmm.
think that is my goal. I want to sell my house and travel
Hmm.
and do a bit, go and see places,
Hmm.
live my life the way we all should.
Hmm.
I do like modelling still, and hopefully I can get seen and probably do that in a spare time. But, you know, I take it day by day.
Yeah.
If people are enjoying my TikToks, I will keep producing. Same as Facebook, same as Instagram. If they still enjoy it, I will still be there doing it as much as I can.
Mm-hmm. What would you say is your most proudest achievement in life now to now?
TikTok,
Okay.
to be honest, but it's I'm just overwhelmed with it. How much likes I've got, and you know the followers and stuff. That is my main pride, and I'm so proud of myself to get from where I was a year ago to where I am now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so what I'll do now is we're gonna alternate the questions. Okay, so rather than me just asking you questions over and over again, we'll go for a stage where we'll shoot 5 questions and we'll switch and go from there. I think I've asked you loads of questions. You can fire any questions you want of me. Any questions you want. We'll just take turns, take a little bit of pressure off you.
Okay. So what? You're on TikTok, and obviously you do YouTube. What made you start doing this?
Um, I've always been a bit of a gamer, so I've always wanted to be like some sort of gaming streamer for a while, but just I've never had the full sort of like package technology, whatever, just to sort of do it, and I've never really had the drive to be consistent at doing it. And then I've always watched podcasts and life story interviews, and I always like watching Jeremy Carl and stuff like that. And I've always had a passion for sort of like just listening to people's life stories, and just them throwing things at me, I'm throwing back things back at them. Just having that dialogue, with different people, and just transferring a little bit of energy, positive energy as well, And the most important thing is obviously telling people, there's a way out, and obviously like listening to inspiring stories like yourself, you've been through a lot, and obviously you've come out the other side positive and everything's going good. And that's the main thing really. But it's been a bit of a weird one. I've done this. I went through a stage. I know a lot of people go on my YouTube channel and they noticed I was speaking to a lot of like OnlyFans girls or escorts and stuff like that. A lot, and then some women get scared. Some women get scared off by it, and I was like, and for a little bit, I was like, should I have them on? Should I not have them on? And I thought to myself, everyone has a right to have their story. Everyone has a right. And then I ended up becoming involved in OnlyFans management and stuff like that, and it just happened. Like it's just one of those weird things that happened. Like I did not plan it. I was happy doing my life story interviews with people, and then it just transferred over to sort of OnlyFans management and stuff like that. Don't worry, I'm not trying to recruit you. Just to let you know from a heads up right now.
That's a no-no.
I'm not trying to recruit you. That's not my thing. It's just most of the people that are in most of the people that I've managed, well, all of them that I managed were doing it before, and they've just asked me to help them because I'm good at technology and good at certain other little bits and stuff like that. Okay, you got a lot out of me there from that one question. I'll
I
fire
know,
one
that
back at
was
you.
brilliant. That was, wasn't it?
I'll fire one back at you. Okay. Something you regret. Biggest regret.
Oh wow, you are asking. Meeting the kid's dad. Sorry. I've got nothing I can regret at the minute to think of that. To think that what I regret of. I must admit, I must regret one thing. I would love to have been a policewoman.
Do you know what? I had this weird energy about you, and I
Oh
thought before you even said anything, I thought that you were a police officer. I actually thought you were a police officer. You had that sort of vibe and sort of, I don't know, I just got that connection from you. I do sometimes get like spiritual messages from people when I'm speaking to them, and something just told me that you were. I thought you was a police officer. Generally thought that. I don't know what it was.
no, I'd love to have been because I'm very good with people and communicate with people, and I'm very friendly, and I can relate, and I can I talk to anybody.
Hmm.
You know, and that's one regret. I wish I'd have done that. 100%.
Okay. I don't want to go too much into it, but you touched on meeting the kid's father. Obviously, that was obviously the one. I'm assuming you're talking about the one with the
Yeah.
you went through 15 years of abuse. Did you say?
Yes, that's right. That's another thing. Yeah, abuse from
Yeah.
women.
Hmm.
Very bad abuse as well. But I can relate to that as well with women on there that have. I've seen some of the TikToks on there, and it touches me sometimes because then it brings it all back to me what I went through.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's it's so hard to get out of an abusive relationship, 100%, especially when you've got kids. Where do you take your kids? Where do you do this? Where do you do that? It's mental torture as well. And I've had, he's knocked my teeth. He's gave me a black eye. And I've had a really bad abusive with him. But I don't look back at that now because the bloke I met took me away from that.
Mm-hmm.
And you do get scarred with it. You do relate to it when somebody comes up on TikTok and they've got an eye, black eye or whatever. You think, so, oh my God, I've been there. I know what you're going through. But trust me, you'll wake up one day like I did, and you'll think enough is enough.
Wow.
That is it, and you'll walk out. And I walked out, and I never came back.
Wow. Do you remember what the turning point was? Like the last straw, sort of.
Speaking to my youngest daughter, she was only, 5, my youngest one.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at her and I said, if I don't leave, I'm going to kill myself, Scotch, I said, because I can't live like this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to leave my kids with him because I had nowhere to take them. And and she just looked at me and went, Mummy, I know.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. I went work with the clothes I'd got on my back,
Mm-hmm.
and I never went back. I took nothing with me. And God, it was hell for the first year with him trying to run me over and everything you could think of.
Wow.
Mick was very, very supportive because he took 5 kids on, obviously, because Chanel was only 6 when I left the dad. So he took all my 5 kids on and loved them just like his own, and they loved him as a stepdad. I do relate to them women, and you will find the strength one day.
Yeah.
You know.
I speak to them all the time. I've heard these stories so many times, and I've listened to so many life stories and women talking about abuse from partners, and I'm just like, it seems too easy to say, right? And I'm pretty sure before this ever happened, before you even got with a guy, you probably had in your head, if a guy ever touched me, I'm leaving. But
You
it's
do.
not. You do, don't you? But it's one of those things. It's never that easy because you still love them, and I imagine it always starts with a light slap first, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, babe, I never meant to do that, and
Yeah, that's correct.
then in their head, some men, they prey on that power, and then that little slap becomes a push, it becomes a choke, becomes throwing, and then it just before you know it, it's full on control that they want from you, and they want to control you with fear, and it's just one of those things. I just can't understand it. It's crazy when I hear these
Well,
stories.
I've always believed, and to this day I still believe, a man that can hit a woman once will always hit again. They will never change. Never. No
Mm-hmm.
matter how sorry they are, they
Mm-hmm.
will still do it. He used to say to me, I'm sorry, flowers, sorry, flowers. He never changed. He
No.
got worse and worse. And then the mental abuse starts coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody will want you. You've got 5 kids. I got you out the gutter. You get it all,
Mm-hmm.
but I never ate. I went really down to, I think I weighed about 6 stone, I think it was. I just went to nothing. Went like a skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, but then when Mick took me away from all that,
Mm-hmm.
my life changed. And with these women that are in this abuse and stuff like that, it will happen and it will wake you up one day. You will say enough's enough.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's crazy that, I mean, the youngest girl I've had on is like an 18-year-old girl that I had on, and she went through like so much craziness, with beatings and stuff, and
Mm,
just torture and all sorts of crazy things. And I'm like, you're only 8. This poor girl's only 18 years old. Like, where are these men being bred? Just what
mm,
makes a guy think that he can do that to to get to a woman or a girl, whatever. I must say as well, obviously it's a two-way streak in some
correct,
cases,
yeah.
and some men, some men have come to me and said to me, like, look, I've never ever in my life ever wanted to hit a woman in my life. I've never had that in me, but they're with a girl and the girl thinks it's okay to slap them, and then they've slapped the partner back, and then the police have come, and the police
Yeah.
they will just judge. They automatically, I think it's a good thing. They'll go for the women's side, and then obviously the guy gets carted off and stuff. But it's not. Sometimes it's a little bit of give and like obviously it goes both ways as we know. But yeah, what's your thoughts on like men that hit back when women hit them?
Now, like That is an odd one.
It is.
For one thing, women shouldn't be hitting either. You
No.
know, it works both ways, like you've just said. I mean, I would never, ever dream of hitting a chap I
Hmm.
was with or whatever. I would never dream, because I wouldn't want the same back. Because what they always say, you hit somebody, they're going to hit you back.
Hmm.
It's. I just think it's an instinct that a bloke will slap back or whatever. I don't know. I can't really say that percentage men would,
Hmm.
but you know, in the first place, a woman should hit a bloke.
No.
You know, we're not here to be hit,
No.
men or women. You
Hmm.
know, we're here because we're here to be together. And, you know, if you've got a relationship that's like that, plus if you've got kids seeing it, then kids grow up to
Yeah.
be thinking it's the norm.
Yeah.
You know, with my kids, they seem to think, they thought, oh, it's the norm. But my kids do not hit anybody. But, you know, they've been through a lot, they've seen a lot. And you've got to realize, if you've got kids and you're in this abusive relationship,
Hmm.
it torments them. You know, it don't put a very good thing for the children, because they're going to grow up thinking, well, if a bloke hits me, it's the normal. My mum used to get it, or my dad used to get it, but
Hmm.
it's not the normal. You know, we shouldn't be doing that.
No. No. It is. It's a. It's sad, but unfortunately, sometimes there is a cycle, isn't there?
Yeah,
Like some men, some guys, they'll beat their women, and they're like, "Why are you doing it?" "Oh, my dad used to beat my mum all the time, and that's what I've seen." If you that's a cop out. Obviously, you make
yeah.
the choice. You make the choice to obviously, go down that route of wanting to, because I think it all comes down to control. They want to control you. They want to do it
Oh,
all. They want to put you down there. Like you notice that it always comes. It's always the same story. "Oh, you'll never find anyone. I'm the
yeah,
best. I'm the best you're gonna get," and
correct.
all that. So it always ends up that way. It's
It
never.
does.
It's never like anything else other than it's just like that control element that they want. And I think just don't know what's going on in the world
But
today.
I think if you're at a young age like I was, I mean, I met the kid's dad when I was, what, 17, sorry, and I was
Yeah.
pregnant at 18.
Wow.
You start believing that. You
Yeah.
believe
Yeah.
nobody will want you, and you believe, you know, there's nobody out there that's going to want you. And, you know, he was the only one that wanted you. And it torments your head because
Hmm.
you believe it.
Hmm.
And you do believe it because you're such a young age. And obviously, I'd lost my mum,
Hmm.
you know, and I'd got nobody. My dad had remarried and moved on and really didn't pay much attention to us and stuff. But he did. And that's what I found, like a mother figure in him, because that's what I was missing, because
Hmm.
I'd lost my mum, you know. And I think then, like I say, these young girls like me, when I was that age, you do believe that that is the only person that loves you in this world.
Hmm. Yeah. It's a sad time. It's a sad place, just where people. I just can't believe that some people that can do, like, if you listen to some of my other stories that I've had, just horror stories. I'm just like, how? Why is this even? This is like,
Yeah,
it's just some people are just evil. I think some
I
people
know.
are just
I
some people are just
understand that.
evil. It's crazy. Like sometimes that's why I actually had to stop doing interviews for a little while, because it was just because for some reason I receive a lot of energy from people. So if someone tells me a personal story, I'll think about it quite a bit. Then I'll feel like
Yeah.
I need to, help that person. Like I check in on them and stuff, and then
Oh,
just
that's nice.
it does burden on my heart sometimes. When things
It
happen.
does, it touches you, don't it? Because
It
like I
does.
say, when I see some on TikTok, it really you know, and I see uh, some of the women break down because they've lost a partner, you know, the partner's finished with them and left them. You know, I relate to that, and I think to myself, my God, she's
Mm.
really breaking down for this, you know. And it does touch me on most of the TikToks I see. It's heartbreaking, some of them, to me.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. I think it's as well. It's just the starting again. Some men. Well, I think it's mainly women. They're just worried about starting over again from nothing, And sometimes that's the best thing, just starting over again, like. But it is hard. It's not easy. Like you said, you had a year. It was hard, So it's not easy, and it takes If you ask me, only people with a little bit of spirituality with them, or a lot of mental toughness in them, that can actually get to that level where they go through it and not let it
Mm.
affect them still now. So we will trade off two more questions each, and then I will leave you to it. I'll leave you with your next question, and you can go as deep as you want. It's entirely up to you.
So, what's your family background? Have you got, you know, children,
I have
family, a wife? I'm
girl,
not trying to date you.
a girlfriend and three kids. Girlfriend and three kids, yes, indeed.
Oh, lovely.
Yes, girlfriend and 3 kids. No grandchildren yet, but
No, don't
hopefully.
rush into that, will
Well,
you?
no, I've got a 16-year-old son, so you never know nowadays, do you? So
No, exactly.
yeah, you
Yeah,
never
it's
know.
true.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad for the boys, because as a man you can sort of tolerate. But if one of my girls, I'd be like heartbroken. That'll be the end of it.
Yeah,
But
I know.
yeah, different standards you put on boys and girls sometimes. So, yeah, okay, it's a cool question. Okay, bum. Tell me a little bit about you, anyway. What don't I know about you? You've told me a little bit about you, but tell me what I don't know about you. What's the real you?
The real me.
Yeah, the
Okay.
real you.
Have you got
And
all day? No, not
no.
really. um, do you know the real me that people see me on TikTok as I can explain it in bikini or what the fashion and that lot. But the real me is not the pictures, the person is me that I'm inside, that I'm so caring. I've got a good heart and I'm very easy to get on with. Um, I'm very well respected at work and
Mhm,
family and friends. I've got a lot of friends and I'm really well respected. I'd help anybody if I could,
mhm,
to a certain extent.
mhm,
Um, I enjoy gym work. I enjoy going out. I enjoy going for a meal.
mhm.
Um, I'm just I'm missing one thing that I think that would make my life complete. I think to have that company with me because you do miss that.
Yeah.
We can all say you've got a family, you've got this and that, but it's not the same.
No.
It's that person that you can go for a meal with or to phone and say, oh, my day was like this today, or,
Mhm.
come home to. Not there all the time, but just somebody you can have a proper
Yeah.
conversation with and go. Because I do go to hotels on my own. I
Mhm.
go to Milton Keynes, I go Sheffield, and I go where there's a gym and swimming pool. So I go swimming and I do the gym work there. And I always meet somebody there to talk to or whatever because I'm very person that's very active and I'll talk to anybody.
Mhm.
But when it comes to the end of the day, that's what I miss is
Yeah.
that person I can go with for a meal and
Mm.
go places.
Yeah.
You get very lonely sometimes,
Yeah.
at night time.
And
It's
that's and I suppose that's a massive burden for people that have been widowed, in the
mm,
nicest way. I suppose that's a massive burden,
it is.
and you're going to be battling with your conscience, your like everything in your head is going to be saying to you, am I betraying this person? But I
Yeah.
think there's no right or wrong answer anywhere, but obviously life has to move on, and like you said, it's fine having family, having your dog, having everything, but when they go home to their families, they're laying down, and I think, I don't want to be found sexist. I think women need a cuddle. Like, sometimes
Oh
women,
God, yeah. You
you
do
just
miss
need,
that.
and even someone to snuggle up to, and just
Hmm.
maybe all I don't is, and I imagine I don't know. I mean, but I imagine it's really hard to battle with that sort of dilemma, and I think as well it will be even harder with so much attention that you're going to get. From your socials and stuff like that. That'll be very tempting. I mean, at some stage, you might see someone nice and think, "Oh, hello," and 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 no one can say to you you're doing anything wrong. It's your life. You've got to live it. You've not done anything wrong. But I imagine this is a massive thing for people that are, have lost a partner and stuff like that. But you'll be able to tell me a little bit how you're feeling about that process, like, even if you don't mind, just shortly.
Yeah, you really said it's right because that is, I don't feel it's a new life for me. I
Mhm,
don't feel guilty with Mick anymore because he'd never want me to be here on my own. He'd never want me to be unhappy and cry all the time and stuff like that. Mick was that sort of person. He was like me, very bubbly. We bounced off each other. We
mhm,
had so much fun. He'd never want me, and I would, if it was vice versa, I'd passed away and Mick was here on his own. I'd never wanted him to be on his own because life's too short.
mhm,
You've still got your life.
mhm,
You're down here, Mick's up there, and I want, I need somebody that's, you know, that can bounce off me. I mean, you can't go looking for the person that will like Mick because you'll never find that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of us do that are widowed. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we look for that person we've just lost,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll never find that person because there's only one of that person. But, you know, it's hard nowadays to find that person. I've had blokes that,
Yeah.
you know, you think to yourself, God, no, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they're just messing with your head. And they do, because they could be married and they still want to chat you up, and it's wrong, you know, but I'm very careful that way.
And that's a massive thing on social media as well. You know,
Very careful. Yeah.
sometimes, you know, guys, they just see a woman and they think they can try and get in her head, or, you know, they can try
Yeah.
and get something from them or whatever, you know, and they don't necessarily think about, you know, they don't actually necessarily think about what they're doing. You know, they're just thinking about, you know, what's downstairs, and maybe, you know, sometimes that's just it, you know. And some men will resort to the levels of, right, rather than a guy coming out and saying, look, you're a lovely lady, I would like to take you out for dinner, maybe go
Yeah.
home with you, something like that. They will never say that. It'd be like, oh, you're so beautiful, you're an amazing person. They sort of steal your heart with what's downstairs as well. You know, a lot of women say that, and it's like, you go with one, oh no, he was a piece of crap, he was just using me for this, and then two, and then
Yeah.
before you know it, there's five of them, and then it's just like, some women just find, you know, some women like it. I'm not going to lie. There's a big thing at the minute where women are going abroad and having the time of their life with men
Yeah.
half their having time of their life
That's not me.
with
That's
half
not
their age.
me.
But, you know, I don't shoot them women down. You know, I think to myself, if I was a 70-year-old man and I could get women half my age, I'd be like, wait a minute, you know, Jesus, you know. And a lot of men are doing that. They're going out to the Philippines and getting a woman half their age as a wife, you know. We're nearly done anyway. We're nearly done. I'll just let you touch on that a little bit. You're not, so
No,
you
and
we won't be seeing you out there with a guy saying, "I love you long
no,
time."
never. I'm going to be very, you know, all joking aside, though, I've got to be really connected with the person I bring into my life because of my family, my kids, my
Mhm,
grandkids. I've got to be connected to that person, and it's got to be that chemistry. I
mhm,
just won't go out with anybody just because I'm lonely, because it's not going to work. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of his time.
mhm,
So until that person comes and I connect with him, and I'll know I'll connect with him,
mhm.
that's when I will start. But at the minute, I'm fine doing what I'm doing, and I'm enjoying the single life at the minute.
Yeah, and I think that's a very big thing. You know, sometimes as much, even through the worst circumstances ever, when a lot of people want having their freedom, being able to do whatever they want to do, not have to report to someone, ask someone,
Yeah,
you know, for permission, or can I go do this? Can I go do that? You know, I imagine that's you know, that's a very safe at your sort of age and stuff. It's probably a very safe place. Just, oh, let me just enjoy this lovely peace and quiet. You know,
mm,
but okay, Sammy, it has been lovely having
all
you on.
right,
We've had some great conversation.
lovely.
I'll definitely have you on again, maybe more of a group setting, maybe next time, and
Yeah, great.
we can touch on that. We can maybe we can do a conversation on a whole load of stuff. You know, mental health, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Any final? I'll leave the final thoughts with you.
I just want to thank everybody that's. Let me first thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Okay.
And I want to thank everybody that likes me on TikTok. And hopefully, I've got a Christmas one coming out soon
Okay.
for the Christmas. So
Okay.
hopefully, I'll get some likes on that. And thank you for the follows, and thanks for all the likes. I'm so touched.
It's been amazing having you on. Everybody, this is Brudsy Entertainment, life stories, life interviews. I interview general public, you know, anyone, small creators, big creators, anyone who has a story to tell, I interview. If you want to come on, just send me a DM and I'll have you on. Thank you very much for joining us again, Sammy.